Lifespan of a tree, I mean in general.
Well, depends on the species, but for an oak tree it could be about 400 years. And there's a saying for an oak tree that it grows to about 200 years, then it's mature for about 200 years, so there's not growing too much, but happily growing away, happily living. And then it dies for about 200 years before it falls down.
So it actually falls down.
It actually falls down, eventually falls down in the wind. But during that period when it's dying, it's full of life. It's full of fungi, moss, algae and lichen that we saw earlier, all sorts of insects. There's as much inside it as when it's alive. And it just shows that our ideas of life and death are not standard. They're not, it's not a definite thing. Whatever you believe in about a life after death, and it depends on what you believe, of course, for sure science and nature suggest that there's no distinct boundary between life and death, and that things carry on again after they've died. So the tree, as it falls apart, becomes full of life, but it's a different kind of life. It's new insects, new fungi.
What's the oldest tree?
The oldest tree is probably the yew tree, which maybe grows for up to 2,000 years. Only living part of the tree. Do you know how much of the tree is alive? Most of it, when you look at it, is actually dead. All the centre is dead. But the only part that's living is the outside, the bark. And just under the bark, where you have the xylem and the phloem, it's like the blood vessels, that's where all the work is going on, all the liquids going up and down, the water, the nutrients. All the rest of it is dead, it's kind of support. So when you say a tree is 2,000 years old, and so I'm thinking of some of the olives in the Middle East and elsewhere, they can be 2,000 years old. There's some in Jerusalem, I know, 2,000 years old. But when you look at the tree, you have to say to yourself, how much of that tree is actually 2,000 years old? Not the living parts, they were just maybe 1 year, 2 year, 3 year old. Maybe some of the wood, but really it's the essence of the tree. It's been there for 2,000 years. But no real part of it is actually 2,000 years old.
How do you know it's been 2,000 years?
Because people have kept records of them, I think. And also you can count these rings, and you can count the number of years. What have you enjoyed about the day?
Learning more interesting things about wildlife.
And would you like to come again?
Yeah.
Great. What have you learned?
I've learned that this is a St John's wort, and this is a hogweed, and this is an old man's beard. They're very unusual names, and I've never come across them before.
Fantastic.
And I remember that this one is to help you sleep. Yeah. I thought this one was a cotton plant, because it looks like it's got cotton on it.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Those are the seeds. So they're seeds that will blow away in the wind. Okay, and would you come back again?
Yeah, I'll definitely come back. I've been here before, and I'll definitely come back again. It's been brilliant.
Fantastic. Anything else you want to say?
I just want to say thank you to all of you for arranging this for us, presenting, and you being brilliant in what plants you know. And I love that. Thank you.
The honey is locally made honey. Local honey is very important because it takes all the bacterial properties in your natural environment and it helps your immune system. The thing is, the bread is made locally. Also, have you heard about fair trade here?
Yeah. We just wanted to say that it's really good to sort of come into this environment and sort of connect with nature, the heart. It's nice to get out of that sort of material world and connect with nature. I mean, I don't think this is the way we're living as Muslims. I don't think that's the way Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in particular wanted us to live, because I think the doors, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his time, they were when the verses of the Quran Iza jaa nasrullahi wal fath were revealed, at that moment in time there were thousands of people coming into the fold of Islam, and what was happening to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was shedding tears, and they asked him, why is it that you're shedding tears and there's so many people coming into the fold of Islam? And he said, it's because this is now, but in the very near future the doors of materialism will be open, and the people, the Muslims, will be heading towards materialism. So basically, you know, this reminds us that you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "Allah bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub." Only in the remembrance of God do the hearts find comfort. And it's, you know, it's wonderful to be in the company of that creation that is consistently remembering God, so that our hearts can find comfort. So this is just a reminder for us to sort of step away from the material world and sort of head towards, you know, the way God intended us to live. Try to sort of step away from materialism and connect with nature, and remember and try to live our life in accordance to God, a humble life. So I'll leave it to that, inshallah.
Thank you very much, Sia, and thank you, Riyadh. Thank you to all of you for coming along today. Have you had a nice time? Yes. Will you come back with your friends and your family? Yes. Excellent. Okay. Giving you a good time, letting you enjoy nature and finding some inspiration. So I hope you found something important today, important to your soul or important to yourself. And I hope you take it away with you and share it with as many other people as you can. Thanks very much.